Is Himi gouache a good paint? I will be unboxing, swatching and painting, and I will give you my first impressions about Himi gouache. And it's not what you think. Hi, I'm Cécile, a French artist, and my mission is to help you becoming a better artist. Gouache is my favorite medium, and so far I've been using only artist quality paint. I wanted to try the Himi gouache that is so trendy and see if there is a reason for that. Of course, if you're looking at the price only, for 1 box of Himi paint, you will get 2 or 3 tubes of artist quality paint. So it's worth testing it. Is Himi gouache a good paint? Let's find out. This is the box. I took it in green mint because this is a lovely color. Under the lid, you have a removable palette. On each cup, you have the name of the color that is printed on it, and of course you can see the color by transparency. Let's place the palette on top and flip over everything so I can see the color of each cup. And you have a small label with the name of the colors on the back of the box. You have 2 different whites in the box, and one is labeled titanium, the other is just white, so we'll find out. Now is a good time to arrange the colors the way you like to have them for painting. And the best part is to remove the lid, so beware, this will be messy, you'll get your hands dirty, but that's a part of the fun. And you have some leftover of paint on the lid, and I want to take my palette knife to just grab everything I can, because I don't want to lose any paint. And once you have it on your palette knife, just place it inside the cup. The paint, especially the whites, may come with a kind of a yellowish product on top. This is part of the product, no problem with that. Just grab a toothpick and stir everything until you get the creamy consistency you like. If you want, you can clean the edge of the cup with a little tissue, but believe me, it won't stay clean very long. Here is the final palette, and I have stirred some cups, but not every cup, and believe me, you should do this. And I took everything I could from the lid, so I'm really happy with it. Time for swatching, and I will be using my sketchbook that I have begun to fill with my free workshop, Fill Your Gouache Sketchbook. You have the link in description if you want to follow along one of the 15 tutorials. Let's take an empty page, and I will be working on the 2 pages. I clip the pages so they don't buckle, and I will draw lightly some hearts all around. I have 18 colors in my Himi box, so I will just draw 18 hearts. At first, I just want to see the coverage, the opacity of the color, so I'm using the pure color straight from the cup and trying to fill each heart with one of the 18 colors. What I didn't think of is that inside those 18 colors, I have 2 whites, and I don't want to paint just white, so I will have to adjust my strategy. Right now, I see that the paint is really thick, and I need to use quite a heavy layer of paint to get a nice coverage. This is really different from the paint I am used to work with, and I'm not sure I like it so far. Here is a close-up so you can see how thick I am going with this paint. This is really amazing. I've never been using gouache this thickness. This is really weird because you can see the brush strokes and it's very difficult to get a nice coverage. So I don't know if it's me or is it the paint or am I dumb? I don't know. I want to show you the coverage now that it's dry. It's really not good. It's kind of transparent in some parts. I'm really disappointed so far. Just to be sure if it's me or if it's a paint, I'm taking a Winsor & Newton paint and I'm filling a heart with it using the same amount of thickness in the heart and see if it's going better or not. And so far it's really easier. The paint is really smooth and you can push it easily on the paper. With the Himi gouache, I feel like I am fighting against the paint, and this is not what I want when I'm painting. Can you see the difference between the Himi and the Newton one? The coverage is really not the same. It's time to test the color mixing. I'm taking a bit of yellow directly with the brush, and I already have pink on my palette, and I feel that you need to add water to this mix. It looks like the paint is thirsty. I don't know how to say that, but you have to feel it. It's not as smooth as it should be. I take the white, the one that is labeled just white, add a tiny amount of blue inside, and I'm taking the blue directly with my brush because I really don't mind. Anyway, everything will get contaminated. And trying to get a nice baby blue to make something a bit different because so far the colors are quite dark. If you want your cups to stay really clean, you need to use some tool to grab the paint inside. I'm using a palette knife because I can really control the exact amount of paint I'm using. But you have to clean the palette knife after, so you have to think what you prefer. Personally, I think the white should not get contaminated unless you decide that one is for mixes and will get dirty and the other one is just for highlight and will stay clean. What about the opacity? Can I paint on top on existing paint and shall I lift the color below? I'm making a very light mix, kind of pinkish something, and I'm trying to place it on top of the red heart. And unfortunately, it instantly lifts the color below. See that mess? This is really, I don't like that. So I have to struggle and try to mix everything until I get kind of a nice color, but really doesn't work. Okay, let's say maybe there was too much water in my brush, so I'm trying the same thing, but with the paint directly from the cup. So it's really thick, really heavy, and if I don't rub too much, I shouldn't lift the layer below. Here it seems to work a bit better, but I need to go very, very thick with my paint. And now it works, but I feel it's more sculpture than painting. Trying to cover the Prussian blue with the white, so I'm going directly with a very, very thick layer of paint. But really, I don't like that. It's too heavy, and if I go lighter, it won't cover everything and it will lift the color below. So I'm not really convinced so far. Let's see how it goes once it's dry. Some parts are really ugly. Looks like I'm just beginning with gouache, although I've been painting with gouache almost daily for 4 years now. This paint, I'm not so sure about it. But I'm willing to test again, and for this I want to paint something real. I mean, not swatches, but an actual painting. I've decided to go for a cactus. This is something I love to paint, and actually I also have a complete class with 6 ways to paint cactus with gouache, and this is one of the 6 ways. So if you want to know more about the class, you have a link in the description below. If you want to paint the exact cactus I'm using, you have a link to the copyright-free image in the description under the video. Now I'm mixing my greens, and you have a range of different green in this image. So I want to tone down with some Prussian blues, some yellow ochre, some reddish in some part to get the dark sides. And I'm just going as I would do with my regular gouache painting with my flat brush and see how it goes really. I feel that the paint is drying really, really fast, and I have a hard time to make nice blendings like I would do with artist quality gouache. So really, as much as I paint, and still not convinced. And the most difficult part is to paint the pot. It's supposed to be a metallic one, so I should have some reflections in it, but I have a hard time to get the correct color, to get the correct shape, and as the paint is so thick, I need to give my brush strokes the actual same direction all the time, so it's quite hard on the edges, and really it's very difficult. For the flower, I'm using a mix of violet and Prussian blue and using quite a dry paint, trying to make some nice effect with the edge of my flat brush, and then using a very thin brush just to see how I can handle the very thin lines. Some almost pure white to make the small flowers on this gorgeous cactus. It's going fine this time because I know how to handle the thickness of the paint to get really something opaque. So it was worth it to make the swatches before so I can know more about the thickness and the consistency and the amount of water I need to put inside the paint. Here is the final painting. Well, in the end, it's not that bad. It's not that good either. And the palette is already being contaminated, you can tell in the white, but that's how it is. So what are my final thoughts about this Himi gouache? I would say I'm not that convinced at all. I am really used to artist quality gouache and it's more expensive, but you know why. So my conclusion, if you are on a budget and you want to try gouache, that could be tempting to buy this one. But for the same amount, I'm quite sure you can get Arteza paint. I'm not sponsored, I would say, but it's a better quality in the end. Of course, you have less paint, but it's a better quality. So consider it before buying the Himi gouache. And also you have 18 colors, it's a minimum. And I think it's way too much because I think it's very important that you learn how to mix your colors. So you'd better buy artist quality colors with just 5 colors. And you have the list of the minimum colors you need in the description under the video. This is what I would buy to begin. So if you already have artist quality paint, please don't buy Himi gouache. It's really not worth it. With Himi gouache, I feel like I'm struggling against the paint. Unbelievable. I'm not here to struggle. I'm here to have fun, to enjoy myself. So I don't want to struggle with paint. So really, I will go back to my artist quality paint, even if I might try it once more. Just to be sure. Maybe it was not a good day today. Maybe next time it will be better. Who knows? I think I don't like it. Not yet. Maybe one day. Want to paint cactus? Go to this video and you'll know everything.